Welcome. 239 Uncensored in Southwest Florida and beyond. And we have the lovely Shannon Livingston over there, all dressed up, looking nice.
I'm doing
Shannon,
my day job today.
How you doing?
Is my mic on?
I'm hoping it's not. Can you hear yourself?
I can't. I can almost hear myself over the music.
Yeah.
Like
Are you doing pretty good?
I'm doing great today.
Yeah.
I love Mondays.
It's funny because when I do the music, when you listen on the playback, you can't hear it that much. So maybe I'm just getting deaf.
It sounds like I'm just being
Is it
super sensitive.
death or deaf?
Deaf with an
Okay.
F.
Okay. I'm getting deaf from going
As
to
an
the
F.
library.
The library.
The library. Oh, I can say that's right. No, it's good. So, Shannon, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah,
How are you?
You look like you're all smiley and bubbly and.
Even though that whole lost an hour of sleep thing.
Yeah, it's got me jacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept it like this morning. I just didn't know what time it was. And so I had to keep looking at the clock. And of course, I felt way behind.
Yeah. It's weird. Lunch today, I thought it was 11 or I thought it was 12, right? And I look and it's like 1:03. And I'm like, I got to eat.
So do you actually change the clock in your car or do you just wait the 6 months for it to be right again?
No, I change it. That would drive me crazy.
I know.
That would drive me crazy.
I change it. Some people don't, though. They just wait.
Yeah. I actually, at the house, I got up at like 4 in the morning. I'm up all the time.
Which
So
is
I went in. I went in. I changed everything.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird because I got up early and I was messing around a little bit on the computer. And then I look and it's like an hour later. And I thought it was. And of course it was because of the change. It's kind of cool. It's going to be nice. It's great if you're in real estate.
Because it doesn't get dark, right?
Yeah. You can show some houses and, go a little bit later into the evening and things like that. If you don't have this current problem we have in Southwest Florida, there's like,
what houses are you?
No houses to show. So that's it.
But do you think that realtors are not showing houses after dark? Should they not?
It doesn't really. It's not a good idea for safety. Number one, and number two, it's kind of tough when you show a house after dark because people can't really get the look.
That's true.
So it's kind of hard to get them in.
Hard to sell that natural light concept.
Yeah, exactly. But some people get excited. They want to go see it. And I've done it before. I'll be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, but you're always strapped.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah.
So they could just take you. Like if they really had to show it at night, they could give you a call.
Yeah. Yeah, give me a call. I'll help you out. And don't forget that home warranty when you buy. Don't you forget that home warranty.
When I'm dressed in my work clothes, it reminds
Old Republic.
that is what I do.
Yes.
And you're saying the right company
name.
Yeah,
of course I am. I've got it down.
So proud of you. So what'd you do over the weekend?
So on Friday, I went to the famous Cosmos. John Luca had a great time down there. Great. Place was packed.
Yeah.
He got his new shipment of his wine that came in. It was fantastic. And had a great time there. Saturday, we had class. We had our cram class. Went fantastic. So if you're in the middle of getting ready to take your test, your state Florida test, we're going to have another cram class. Yeah, for real estate at this point. For real estate, we'll be happy to come in that cram class. And then on Monday, if you want to take your license and get your real estate license, I suggest you will. And I'm not going to go on this big tirade of why, but we start our next class Monday the 21st. It's an evening class, so it's gonna be fun.
Well, I don't know about fun, but you make it less painful.
Less painful. Let's call it less painful.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, I just pretty much hung out. We went. A friend of mine's leaving town. Was with John Luca again, but we went out to meet with them and say goodbye. They're moving from Naples to South Carolina, Hilton Head. So, yeah,
I've never been to the Carolinas.
Yeah, beautiful.
The only parts
I kind of drove through there. I haven't really spent time there.
Maybe we could get an RV and write that off on the 239 budget. Can we do that?
I do have an RV.
Oh, that's right. You have an RV.
I got a really nice RV. Yeah.
Now we just need to get gas, and I don't want to go into a whole thing about Biden and OPEC, but we could do a little.
Well, you think what he's doing is right now?
No, I don't. I've never been a Biden fan. But, unfortunately, in this country, you can't talk about the policy. People only talk about the leadership and the person. And so if I say that I don't like Trump, then I must love Biden. If I say that I don't like Biden, then I must love Trump. And that is just so ridiculous to me that people think in such a binary way, as if there's no world outside of those two individuals. No government exists.
Yeah, there's.
But that's what we've been reduced to in this country.
When the presidential election comes around, you really usually have a couple choices, or you throw away a vote on the other one. sometimes.
Well, I don't know.
Libertarian.
We'll talk about the third party vote at another time. Well, and it's the libertarians' fault because they keep putting some cuckoo up there.
Yeah.
That we're not allowed to debate because we just can't control ourselves. So
it gets a little crazy. I will say a little crazy. Yeah.
Look at what poor Gary Johnson did last time. So
yeah. Real quick though, what did you do this weekend?
What did I do?
Run around in your pajamas and?
No. I did shower this weekend.
That's good. I'm glad you came up with that.
But no, I did. And so I do things around my house.
Okay.
It's season in Naples, and so I don't like to go out to the restaurants and all of that. This is when I do my home projects. Plus, I finally took down my Christmas decorations that I had up. For a whole year. Well, I guess it was 2 years, whatever it was. But so I took down my Christmas decorations, and now I have to decorate my condo. So I built this thing. So what do you think this picture is? This is my house. What do you think this is a picture of?
The very first thing I said when I sat down and you snuck this one in on me, I'm like, what is it? That's shelving.
I'm conspiring.
It's a rock wall. It's a rock wall. It's to climb on.
So toddlers can come over and climb it.
It's a rock wall to climb on.
So I'm opening up a daycare in my house. I don't even need to be home because I'm just building all these things.
I think we could do this rock wall with it for adults as well.
Well, it's for seniors. It's a senior adults.
Put that back up, Diana. Yeah. We got to keep this up there for a minute.
So that the old people can climb the wall.
It's actually amazing.
Stretch it out. Not break anything. We'll put some padding down on the floor. So what do you think that is?
I think it's shelving for plants.
So it's a candle wall. My candles have not arrived yet. I ordered them online, but so it's going to have all ivory candles that are flameless, of course, and all by remote. So I can just sit on my couch and have a little smoke and look at my candle wall. Just hit that remote.
What kind of music? Like little Pink Floyd going in the background?
If I really want to have the full stoner experience,
the full candle effect. Actually, it's pretty cool. Now, are those like pieces of wood, or
they're floating shelves, and then I painted them gold.
Okay.
And I just made the little design with painter's tape. But I had a lot of reaction. People like, "Oh my gosh, it's so amazing!" Like, no, they're just shelves from Target, and you can paint them too. But that's what I do. So when you ask me, like, well, what do you do all weekend? This type of stuff. I build candles.
The one thing is amazing is like I'm looking at it and I'm me. I'm going to try to find a fault, right? Mm-hmm. It's amazing. The damn thing's straight as hell. It looks pretty good.
Use a level.
Yeah.
And I tape it all off with painter's tape to figure out how I want it, and I measure everything, and I use the level. I've used tools.
And you did the solid break, solid break, solid break. So one more time, Diane. I'm sorry to keep putting this picture up, but it's actually an amazing feat.
It's 12 inches, 18 inches, and then 24 inches, and then 30 inches. So it's so I did it all by measurements. I had two bags.
Damn good job.
Cost me $84. $84 to create this wall. That's not including the candles. So I have an update for everyone.
I want to see that.
Come in.
Wow. That's amazing.
I'm thinking that maybe this could be my third or fourth career now. I could just build these accent walls for people because I also have a cookbook wall.
I actually think that's a hell of an idea.
I'm going to come over to your house and work out a couple concepts.
All right. So we have creative closets. Now we have creative candle walls.
I have a candle wall. I have a cookbook wall in my kitchen. Okay. I love these floating shelves. I can do anything with them.
Now, how do you mount them? Do you put a piece of like the
screw mount?
A screw, yeah.
Yeah. They have an anchor.
They got. I mean, is it plastic anchor
for the screw?
Does it feel pretty? Feel pretty soft. Oh, you don't use them. You just use a screw as like hanging there.
On the cookbook wall, yeah, they're anchored because it's heavy.
Right.
But they're also bigger shelves, and so these are more shallow shelves for the.
So you think
candles.
just a screw is going to hold it?
Just a screw.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So super easy to do.
As long as you don't get like too hammered and run into them and rip them off. Then when they get ripped off, then it's hard to fix them.
They only come out 4 inches.
Okay. All right.
And so, nobody really in my house drinks. Joe's a terrible drinker, and we don't drink at home.
We say terrible as in like.
I mean, like he's a happy drinker, but he can't drink a lot. He's not a good, he's not a big drinker, and so it's just not our thing.
Yeah. We like
the herb in my house.
Yeah, the herb. So there's no chance in hell that if you're on herb that you would knock any of that shit down.
Do you think with all those plants around my house that terrorizes them to smell burning plants?
Yeah, they smell their brothers and sisters.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it's like burning flesh to them. Can I freak them out?
Can't oblige.
My poor ferns.
Yeah.
I smell them.
Oh, Shannon, you crap me up. So what's kind of cool about it is you took a picture of it and you put it on Facebook, and your reactions were.
Well, people were asking me how I did it because it's a very inexpensive project that people can do themselves. It just takes a screwdriver. And
what we need to do is what you should have done is, I don't know if you did, but that, how you do those, like
the stage by stage before.
Yeah, or fast. Or slow motion.
The time lapse next time. Yeah,
next time.
I do take a couple smoke breaks too. So I have to Diana edit that out.
The time lapse.
She can come over and video me doing my projects. That'll be great for her. She'll love that.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, by the way, if you want one of these nice stadium cups, just hit us in the comments. We'll get them to you.
Do you put anything in it when you send
Oh, you do. You get a couple little gifts.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. A couple tattoos.
Have you seen anyone around town wearing the tattoo?
Yeah, everywhere. In Fort Myers, some of the clubs up in Fort Myers, they're running around with 239 uncensored tattoos.
So do you have an order that you want to do these stories in? Can I just
I want you
to
just let it go.
Why? Or is anybody surprised that Tom Brady is out of retirement?
Wow.
I mean, I don't even know shit about sports, but I remember Brett Favre did this like 3 times.
Wow.
So this is only his first time out of retirement. Or no, second, right? Because I thought he was really retiring before. So why do we care? Like, why is this a big deal?
It's huge. And Victoria, I just want to say hello. Hey, Victoria.
Hey, Victoria.
Thanks for listening in. Tom Brady, we all kind of thought he was going to, but I personally, I would have bet $100 saying he wouldn't do it. I think he was going to I think he was just going to be done with it. I really thought he was going to be done. I didn't think he was going to come out. So I was out yesterday and I was like in shock. And matter of fact, where I was at Hampton Social, the reception was terrible. And my friend is a huge Pats fan. So I told him, I go, look. And I went to show him. He didn't believe me. He goes, yeah, bullshit. I go, no, seriously. I had to go outside, get us reception. No.
Your own friends have no faith in you.
No, he's like, well, no. They're like, no, bullshit. And I go, no, Brady, I just came out. And it was on ESPN. So I figured it's probably legit at that point.
But why can't he just let Mahomes have his turn?
Oh, Mahomes. God, he's so young. He's got a long time to go.
It's his turn. Brady's done. Why does he? No, this is what happens in Naples a lot too. The older people want to stay there forever. Pass the torch.
That's where they live.
Mentor. Pass the torch.
Yeah.
Let someone else have a turn.
I think Brady got home and it's never a good idea to retire like 3 weeks after the season because you are freaking tired. You don't want to put up with that shit, right?
Everybody wants to retire.
Yeah, everybody wants to retire after they get done working and doing something hard. So I think he got home and he was there for 3 months, 90 days, something like they said.
That's what did it.
And hell, they were like, I gotta have some focus in life. I can do this again.
I mean, he was home with his wife for 3 months, and then he was like, "No, I can't do this."
Not like that. Not like that's a bad thing. Just being home with Giselle. Holy shit.
Nelson Mandela, he did all that time, and then he came out and got divorced right away from his wife, and so I think these men just can't. They just can't be at home with their wives.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably hang out with her a little bit if I could.
I don't know. Don't you think it'd be like having candy out all the time, where you would be like, I don't want the candy all the time. I mean,
they always say that no matter how beautiful and how good looking they are, there's someone tired of dealing with it. Yeah. so Gronkowski, that was a little clue. Gronk didn't retire. Mm-hmm. So I kind of, when he didn't retire right off, when Brady did, I'd like, I think he's going to stick around a little bit because Gronk probably let it go. I think Gronk's going to do one more season. And Brady and they want to do if I was doing that, I would want to do a final tour, right? So it's kind of like Elton John's final tour. Yeah,
I was gonna say, are they gonna wear sequins when they're going on this tour?
So they're gonna get to go to all these stadiums. It's gonna be people are gonna boo them and hate them, or they're gonna get to do this final tour and they're gonna just savor the moment on each. You got to do that.
They don't have enough moments playing football and being on TV and being
Tom Brady. No, he's only won 7
he needs to
Super Bowls.
More celebrity out of it.
We want to be Kansas City Chiefs.
No, let us have our turn.
Yeah, we probably play you guys in the Super Bowl next year.
And we're
I like him. I like him. He got married too, by the way, over the weekend.
I saw that.
His girlfriend's a little wild. I don't know if he can keep her in check.
The dress was different, but he looked good.
I really like the kid. I think he's good. He's a class act. I've never seen him say anything bad about anybody.
Yeah, does a ton for the city.
I like him a lot. He's got plenty of time. He's good.
I hope so. I feel like he's mine now. Like I'm to the age where I don't find these men attractive. I feel like they're my son. I don't know when that happened, but really I am rooting for him personally, not just for the team. Yay. And he does have kind of a crazy wife now.
Well, Tom Brady's, you could date Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that he would like to go from Giselle to me. He's not taking dates. He's married. I'm not taking dates.
No, but age-wise. He's 45.
He's not old enough.
He's 45.
I'm 49. I don't even think I've ever. Well, no, I dated one guy that was younger.
You have never dated. When you were
20,
you never dated someone that was even 45. They were all older than that.
Yeah, no. That's my thing. I have daddy issues, and my father died, so we're not going to solve them now.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So another.
Put in the comments, what is an appropriate age?
Yeah, who cares?
What is it? Put in the comments.
Sleep with the old men. So why do you give a shit?
I don't. I'm just saying. What's the appropriate?
But why do other people care? Why is it that if you look at me and I'm with somebody who's, let's say, 30 years older?
Because I think people feel bad because they know that you're going to probably end up
for him.
Both, because they know that at some point in the near future you will be changing diapers, and I don't know. People feel bad when you have to do that when you're 30 years old.
Well, but that's something that you sign on for. And really, they're okay in their 60s. There's something about 70. Once they hit 70,
they start shitting the pants.
They start stroking out on you and all kinds of shit.
So I've got a couple years. I've got a couple years left. I better behave.
Well, we'll find you someone. We have a lot of really good care facilities around here.
Yeah, I know we do. But I don't know how good care they take.
But
they put you in there and you're like kind of on your own.
That's also something that, I would prefer to have someone else taking care of me and not put my son through that or my family, because I just don't think that's as dignified. Don't you think that it's better to have a nurse or somebody come in and do certain things?
Yeah.
You shouldn't put all of that off on your family.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I know. I like this one, Victoria. She jumped in there and
she called him an SOB too. I like that.
I know. Most youthful SOB I dated.
And that is very true. It's a matter of attitude. I have seen people my age that are just already old. I know. That's
You're
who
right.
they are.
You're right.
And then there are people that I know that are in their 80s, and the child in them is still very much alive and well.
Yeah.
And I kind of have an old soul. I like old movies. I like to stay home and do candle walls. Men my age aren't going to go for that. No, they want sex all the time.
They might. But as long as it's before 7 p.m.
Now I got candle walls to build. You're on your own.
You do your candle walls after 7.
After 7 p.m.
You help me out during the day, and then you do your candle walls after 7.
I had a relationship where he would get unbearable if his needs were not met every day physically. So it became a habit to, before he could speak a word and cause a problem, because I would go into his room, take care of business, and then go about my day. And like about the 3rd or 4th day that happened, I was like, I got to look for my own place. This is not the love affair I was looking for.
Well, you think of it. When does it like slow down for the elderly?
I mean, he was older. He just took Cialis every day and still does. So, when you're popping pills every single day to keep your dick hard, then you look around and expect other people to give you a place to put it. Stop taking the damn pills. It's not my responsibility. But it was, because I didn't have a job at the time. And he was like, look at this air conditioning I'm paying for. And so, that didn't work out.
Well, yeah, you got to earn that air conditioned comfort. Let's talk about this guy. Let's talk about this guy. This is like one of the craziest, worst stories I've ever heard in my life.
Terrible human being.
Yeah.
Awful, awful, awful. And the story didn't make a lot of sense, because it apparently happened in March, and then the little boy died, I guess like a few days to a couple weeks later from injuries that he sustained with his dad. So this 6-year-old boy is the parents are divorced. Mother drops him off, and they have video footage of the gym. It was like
we have that.
The housing development.
Yeah.
Here we go. And it showed him, of course, New Jersey, almost as bad as Florida when it comes to news. If it didn't happen in Florida, it happens in New Jersey.
But poor kid.
So he has his little boy and he puts his boy on the treadmill and he continues to turn up the speed, even though the boy is falling and falling and falling and can't keep up because he's upset that his son is fat, is what he said. And so the 6-year-old with the weight problem, this dad is
poor kid,
super pissed and humiliating the kid and putting him in physical danger. Even at one point, they said that it appeared as though the father bit him on
the arm, right?
Or in his head. Like,
oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
as
geez.
he was picking him up, to put him back on the treadmill. Now, I know that kids can be very frustrating. But this piece of shit, I just, how can you treat any human being like that, much less a child, and your child? You are physically and emotionally causing that child pain. I just can't relate to people that abuse children. And when I see stories like this, I think if I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer tomorrow, I would be a vigilante.
Track him down.
I would. I would just get really, really good with my Glock and I would track down people like this that don't understand that children are a gift. And, because what this does, this poor little boy passed away.
He's injured, right? I think he fell multiple times or they surmise that's what happened, basically.
And, but had he not, this guy would have created another bully, another asshole for the world. This is what happens. This is where the bad people come from. The cycle of abuse continues. It has to stop.
Yeah. Well, and you look at the guy and he looks like, everyday Joe, right? He's like, normal looking guy, and you can't tell a book by cover, but the guy, how you can do that? And you said, especially his own kid. You probably try the neighbor's kid out and see how fast he can run and throw your kid on, speed it up a little bit, right? But no, all joking aside, because with kids, we can't do that. But just to be able to, the kid falls down, get back up on the thing, falls. Kids 6 years old,
Well, and this whole thing, obviously, he's pissed off that the ex-wife is feeding the kid things that he doesn't agree with and things that, may not be the healthiest of choices because you can't out-exercise a bad diet. It all comes down to nutrition.
Sure.
And so, he couldn't control that and he's going to take it out on the kid. Yeah. So you just have this horrible situation. And, unfortunately, this goes on all the time. And then we have the other side of it where if the kid doesn't get what they want in their bento box, they think that is abuse. I think we should have to take some of these kids from Naples, these little whiners that don't have any conflict resolution skills, and we should make them read the files of shit like this.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
This is what happens.
Yeah, this is what could happen. We're gonna put you on the treadmill. We're gonna, use it as a sander.
Need to learn some appreciation.
You just feel bad for these kids because, like you said, these kids are prized possessions, they're gifts. And
what you do to them lasts forever and ever and ever. How you treat children, the good, bad, and everything in between is, that's that old saying of, show me the 7-year-old and I'll show you the adult. Yeah. That's who you are.
Yeah. And my mother chimed in on there. Of course, she's going to write, but she wrote in there that usually that people who are abused or have been around that's how they know how to, discipline their kids. So they
this guy for sure was abused as a kid.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Otherwise he wouldn't have been able to do this.
Yeah, my mother used to come after me with she used to have this like she'd get like a wet rag from the sink and she'd come out after me, in the house, and she'd be coming at me. I'd be like laughing. I look at her, what are you doing? You doing? My father, on the other hand, he'd come after me and I'm like, we were scared, but my mother would come up there. There was a time where I was like 14 or 15. I'd be like, I just stopped. I go, Mom, just please stop. If you want to hit me, I'll just stand here and you can do whatever you want. We had just laugh.
Yeah. I think my mother broke a yardstick on me when I was about 15 and we had the same conversation. I was like, I think we're done with this. Yeah. Like, you're going to have to use your words.
But my mother, she never did anything, no harm to us. But I used to laugh, it was just funny because it was like, I'm laughing at it.
But corporal punishment used to be kind of the norm. We would, as kids, we got the belt. and you got smacked in the mouth if you said something smart, and you waited out in the street for your friend, you know, that was getting his ass kicked inside by his parents for not cleaning his room. I mean, that it was just a normal thing. So we have very different rules now for these kids, and unfortunately, you know, people are saying, oh, well, if we just like smacked these kids around a little bit, they would act better. Big difference between discipline and punishment. You want to discipline children. You do not want to punish them. We need to give some parenting lessons.
I agree. And I can say I think I gave a pawpaw. We used to say pawpaw once to my daughter, and she had like a pamper on.
Yeah.
And she was too young to know. And it was kind of like I stopped to laugh because it was like the noise.
Right.
It was actually literally like that. And I'm like, she don't know what I just did, and I'm not going to do anything else. I just laughed. She took a it was crazy. I had just bought this Berber carpet, and back when I used to buy stuff for my house, I mean, I had to save up for Berber carpet in my house. I mean, it was now it's kind of like I can buy it and whatever. But she sat in the middle and she took lipstick and did like this huge circle, like she's playing on the playground, all the way around in a big circle. And I almost died. This is like 2 days after we put it in.
Yeah.
And I go, Karina, what is this? I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, now we got to try to clean this off. And it didn't come off. No matter what I did, you could still see that circle in there. But yeah, you know, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, better ways to discipline your child than and you're teaching them conflict resolution. And so if all they know is that you are violent or use your hands or whatever, they don't ever know how to talk through anything.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I do get mad and I say some things that you're like, I probably shouldn't have said that, but yeah. So
not the children though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Victoria, thanks for commenting on all those things. It's really good. Let's see. American Pediatric Association now says any physical thing comes across as power over the child. I think taking privilege away is more effective. Yeah, people have different awareness ways and different ways of doing things.
You're trying to teach the child. You're not trying to hurt the child. If you're trying to hurt your child, there's something wrong with you. It's not normal.
You know, I'm not totally against a little pow every now and then. I know some of you probably are, but you know, just you can't be beating on your kids. That's the key.
It does not make them turn out any better.
It doesn't work.
It does not teach them any.
It just makes them to figure out how to, beat back up on you. So yeah. So let's move over to this kind of little impact of us here. Gas is going up. We talked about it.
So what do you think the solution is? We all talk about the problem and what we think the cause is. What do you think the solution is at this point?
Yeah, right now I don't think there's a whole lot we can do. The only thing I can think of that we could possibly try to do is maybe reduce some of the taxes for now, but I don't even know if that's going to be a smart thing to do because ultimately that's going to cut into something, right? Mm-hmm. We just have to find and dig up some of these resources. And when I say that, I don't mean necessarily let's start digging into oil or drilling for oil now.
I don't even know what to believe because you have one side saying that we have all of these permits and all of this domestic resource that can be tapped into, and these oil companies are just choosing not to do it because they're profiting. And then on the other side, you have people saying those permits are bullshit and we have all this regulation that doesn't allow them to do it, and that's a little game that government is playing, saying that we have access when we don't. And all I know is it's not being produced and everyone is having their ass handed to them in gas prices. And we're all arguing about who's responsible. And, I only know enough about economics to get me into trouble. Like if it's not on Wikipedia, then I don't know it. But I do know that this is a complex issue. It's been coming for a while. Yeah. Prices were rising before the invasion into Ukraine. I think that also is contributing. But so I think once again, we have a little bit of this is right, a little bit of this is right. And then in the middle, there's a bunch of shit that we don't talk about because that might actually come up with a solution.
Yeah. And I think when you asked me, you can kind of put me on notice the other day was that the Keystone Pipeline, you said if it came out today, it wouldn't really directly impact us. And probably like directly no, but when you start opening up and you start allowing, I think there was like close to 35,000 people that were working on that, maybe even more than that, double. when you basically say we're no longer going to seek those resources from Canada or directly close to us in North America, when you stop that and you say, okay, from now on, from this point forward, we want to keep green, green energy. We want to start seeking other alternatives. Let's get it from somewhere else. Just the fact that stopped and it's no longer allowed to proceed has an input or has an effect on the prices, right? Because now we said we rely on other people for everything. Well, the problem is when we rely on a particular country or 1, 2, or 3. I mean, Russia, like they said, Russia only brings in a fairly small 10%.
3.
Yeah. Whatever it may be.
3% of our,
our fuel, but it's another source.
Why are we talking to Venezuela and Iran?
Well, no, I don't agree with that.
And Saudi Arabia now, like
it's 50 cents a gallon down there. It's 50 cents a gallon for cars, even less, I think.
When are we going?
But what I'm saying is, I think we need to go back and we need to figure out. It's almost like at your house. If you go to the grocery store every day and you're buying fruit and vegetables from the grocery store every single day you're buying that. And you're used to doing that. And then it gets so expensive and you're relying on that, which I understand. You say, okay, now I'm going to make my own garden in my own backyard. And I'm going to start growing my own. And I no longer have to go and spend money at the grocery store, right?
Right.
And it's a very simplistic way. I'm actually able to start producing mine. Then somebody comes up to you and says, you can no longer plant there because guess what? By you planting in your backyard, it's causing this effect. You have to kill everything. You have to spray it down, kill it, no more planting. That causes a problem because that's no longer going to be a resource for you.
You just explained the struggle for home grow of medical cannabis. Thank you so much for laying that out.
Shannon takes everything and puts it over into her dope.
I'm just the whole time you're talking, I'm like, cannabis, of course. But that is it. You do not, and it is on every level, right? So that's a very good point. Whether you're allowed to grow your own tomatoes and produce your own ketchup and all of that, or grow your own medical cannabis. How much can you control? How much liberty do we have? How much price control do we have? How much dependence do we have on our neighbor, whether that is us as a person or us as a country? And so hopefully we are going to go back to people growing their own fruits and vegetables off the grid. I think a little bit of that behavior is kind of normal and good. Yeah.
And again, I don't mean it to make it sound like it's that simplistic, right? Because there's a lot of factors, but yeah. And I think if, you say Russia's got 3% of the fuel, but the problem is all that, all that's a piece and a part of it. And
that's to us. They're selling to the rest of the world, though.
Yeah.
So then that, because this is a global economy.
Yeah.
So even though we don't get a huge percentage of our fuel from them directly, it doesn't mean that it doesn't affect the fuel economy.
Yeah. No, it does. But and I think that obviously the war has an impact. And the scary thing about this whole thing is, when do prices ever fall? Right. The only thing I know that gets cheaper with time is TVs.
Well, it's rise like a rocket and fall like a feather.
Yeah, TVs get cheaper, right? So you can buy now I can go out and buy an 80-inch TV, which that is right there. I think I paid $3,500 for that. Now you can get it for $800. That's the only thing that I know of that the prices truly fall and stay down. Yeah. Now we've seen gas go up and down, but I have a hard time to believe that it's going to be anytime soon we ever see gas again for $1.99.
But this is another lesson too in commodities. Commodities are not always tied to concrete numbers of supply and demand. There's a lot of reputation wagging the dog, a lot of the threat of war, or they shut down their pipeline and now we know they're dependent, or so you have all of these factors that go in to this big economic picture, which I'm glad that we're talking about a lot of these aspects instead of just saying one little thing could make the difference.
Well, I think people are frustrated, and I'm very frustrated in staying, instead of saying, we're not going to do it like we got now. We're not going to do it just for the fact that we're not going to do it because somebody else did that and we are no longer going to do it. We'll keep the names out just for sheer sake that other person did it and we were working on a way and progressing towards being independent on fuel, which I think we probably will always be buying something from somewhere else. But just to say that somebody else did it and now I'm not going to do it because of that. That's problematic. I think very problematic. Open the fucking pipeline.
It's spiteful. It's vindictive. And it gets back to the personality politics. I don't give a shit who the people are. They're all going to screw us. We as citizens.
When you're the president of the United States, you need to be knowing about shit like that.
But it's not just the president. It's every elected official. It's the system. If it's not this guy, it's going to be the guy 20 years from now. Every one of them is going to screw us. But we are distracted by them very successfully by, these conversations of the other side. The other side is the politicians, guys. It's, you and me against the politicians, not Republicans versus Democrats. And that is, again, why our country is in trouble. We're not dedicating ourselves to our country. We're doing it to party, which is very divisive.
Yeah, well, the reality is we have that balance of government, right? So we have your Republican Party, you have your Democrat Party.
I don't see that as balance, though.
Well, no, I mean, I do. It's checks and balances, right? So usually it goes in ebbs and flows, right? So you usually have a couple Democrats. The Democratic president comes in, usually stays for a couple terms, and then it changes towards Republican side. Then they get tired of that, and then they go back. So it kind of supposed to balance out. But what happens is, I think in this last go around is like people are taking things personable. Let me ask you this. You got a doctor that's got a shitty ass bedside manner who's done 1,000 heart surgeries, and he walks into your hospital room and said, "We're going to have surgery with you tomorrow." And, I don't, you're fat, you're ugly, you don't do good. I really shouldn't do this surgery, but I want to save your life. We're going to do surgery more. The doctor leaves the room and he's done 1,000 of these surgeries. And you're like, that guy was a real jerk off. And then you have the other guy that comes in. He goes, "Hey, nice to see you. Everything's good. Isn't it a beautiful day? Lovely. We'll get through this. This is great." He's done 4 surgeries. Which doctor would you want?
Okay. Are you trying to say that Trump is the surgeon? Because he was not successful in running a business before.
Donald Trump.
And the country is not a business.
Donald Trump didn't had shitty bedside manner. Right,
yes,
I would
get
say
distracted by that. Yeah,
but he was very effective at running our country, and we were doing a lot of things right.
I don't agree with all of that. So when people say, "Oh, well, at least we don't have mean tweets," I didn't give a shit about the mean.
I didn't either.
But I didn't like his policy. Am I not allowed to talk about the shitty policy?
You can talk about whatever you want, but tell me one shitty policy. That's what I'm saying. Do you like the policies we got going now? Letting everybody come over the border?
I don't like those policies.
Shitty.
I agree.
I'd rather lock down our country and I love when people come in our country, the people that work and do it the right way. Don't just fucking come to the border and just start coming over here. Do it the right way, because I've been involved with people that have had to do that. So I'm just saying, what has been positive since 2021, since Joe Biden's been the president?
But that's the thing. Again, I'm not defending.
I know.
Joe Biden.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying I don't like either one of them, and we can't get to a conversation with our fellow citizens because we keep talking about Trump and Biden. So what does need to happen? Like for immigration, I think not only do we need to, control our borders, we need to improve our work visa programs. Not everybody that crosses the border wants full citizenship. So if we just want to know
I agree with that.
Who people are, there's an in-between there. We have some solutions that we could be working on that don't include everything is black and white, everything is Republican and Democrat.
But when you got the whole crew that is just put their, feet in the sand and head in the sand, it's, just not listening to anybody else because of who they were versus what the policy is. Speaking about head in the sand, let's go. Let's take that one. We had some pretty shitty weather this weekend. We're going to wrap it up with this story.
Well, and unfortunately, it hurt their business. Nobody got hurt. There were no injuries. I think a building lost a wall. They had a waterspout on Fort Myers Beach.
Woo! Waterspout.
That then did come on land and turned into a tornado. So it was both a waterspout and a tornado.
And I think we have a video clip of that.
Oh my God!
Oh, with audio.
Yeah.
Here comes the storm. This is crazy. Oh my God! It's going to turn into a tornado.
They're all out there, right in the middle of it.
Go! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Wow.
Look at them run.
Yeah, they're like running.
What was the the music with it. That was so suspenseful. It was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen?
I look at those umbrellas as like spears.
Yeah, you got to get away from
You got to get away from those. They're sitting there. But not to make fun of anybody, but I mean,
where are they going?
Where are they going? But could you see that waterspout picking up that guy?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Circling him in the air.
That had his phone up. I would have loved that. I would like to just see one person circle around like they're in a blender.
Around. Yeah, like a genie.
Yes.
Goes up there and then they come down peacefully.
It was, I've only seen a waterspout in person one time. I lived on the beach and it was just that kind of weather that I knew something was up. And I looked out and at first I thought I was hallucinating, but I was not on those kind of drugs that day. And that day. And it's so, because it looks just like that. It's, this tornado on the water and it just moves on down the water. Yeah. And I could just see it, going from Barefoot Beach toward Sanibel and just thinking, oh my gosh, I hope that doesn't come on land or hurt anybody. But usually waterspouts that come on land are very weak. They don't, so
they're not getting that.
Yeah. So don't jump in one, but don't freak out because you're not going to outrun it. But instead of running, those people needed to go to like the lowest possible place.
The basement.
So they could have buried each other in the sand.
Yeah.
And been much safer.
They could have had their head in the sand.
So
like our politicians.
Put your head in the sand.
No, I'm not saying
all those stories together.
I'm not saying which one, just the politicians in general.
They just
so one last thing before we go. I had a chance to go out in Naples. I love it when it's busy, but it's a pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got a few more weeks. End of Easter, things hopefully will slow down, but it was busy. Naples, Fort Myers, people are everywhere.
Word is out.
Come down, spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
Go back home. Yeah, exactly.
We love it when you go home too.
Yeah,
but it is different.
We like it when you stay, and when you go home, it's good. But
it's a seasonal town, and so it is a little different for us during season.
Yeah, so that was a good weekend, and we got a few more busy ones to come. But after that, we'll
few more projects around my house, and then I can be out in restaurants again.
All right. 239 Uncensored, everything Southwest Florida and beyond. We're gonna crank it out, Shannon.
Woo!
Shannon, sing us a song. Can you sing? Can you put lyrics to this?
Hey, ooh. No, but I'll come up with the rap next time.
Come up with a rap. Lettuce rap. Come up with a lettuce rap.
I don't know why I think that's so funny. That's so bad.
It's
like a dad joke.
Come up with a lettuce rap.
That's hilarious.
All right. 239 Uncensored, everything Southwest Florida and beyond, and we are
out. Woo!